Three employees from the ASX-listed gold producer Resolute Mining, including its CEO Mr Holohan, have been detained in Mali by government officials. Resolute told the stock market this morning that the executives were in the West African nation's capital city, Bamako, holding discussions with the mining and tax authorities. Media reports suggest Mr Holohan and his two other employees were being questioned over providing false evidence and misappropriation of public goods, allegations that they denied. The company said after the meetings concluded, they were detained on Friday, November the 8th. And the suggestion is that the military junta that rules Mali is seeking more money from Resolute. Here's the share price reaction. You can see Resolute was sold off sharply, losing about 33% of its value. Earlier today, I caught up with Julian Malnic, who's the chairman of the Sydney Mining Club, who knows Mr Holohan and has been detained in Africa in the past.
Well, all the African nations are very different. There are great countries like Namibia and Tanzania. Mali's a very poor landlocked country. It's quite a tiny GDP. Gold mining accounts for a lot of it. And I think in a lot of African nations you'd be fine, but obviously not in Mali at the moment. Poor old Terry is wherever he is, he's being held, and it's I think there's a lot of worrying for everybody in the company and in his family.
Yeah, Mr Holohan, the CEO of Resolute Mining, and two executives reportedly arrested or detained on Friday in Mali.
Yeah.
And what's the sort of, does this happen reasonably often in places like this? Or?
Well, places like this, let's just stick with Mali. Mali did the same thing with four executives from Barrick Gold, which is a really big company, only last month. And extracted an $85 million cheque from Barrick, which looks a lot like extortion to me, but they do accuse them of wrongdoing with environment and social matters, and so they make it look like the company's defaulting in some way. Terry, great reputation, great operator, really experienced, lovely man, and and Barrick has a great reputation around the world. So it's nothing I would ever suspect them of doing, but that's the way it seems to be going. And it's not good for the reputation, the investor confidence. That big shit. There was a big drop in the Resolute share price. It's not good for future investment into Mali. I mean, these little countries need investment more than anywhere. And, you'd think twice, particularly after I was actually held in Africa once myself.
What happened to you?
I woke up in my swag at 1 a.m. in the middle of back blocks of Zambia and looking down the wrong end of a bayonet, and which wasn't used, thankfully. Yeah. But it took a while to secure my release, but I never went back there. It's just like these things, when it threatens you personally, I think it has it has a lasting effect, and certainly have a lasting effect on investor confidence.
Yeah, we saw the share price is down a lot today. I mean, what do Resolute do here? Is it just a pure negotiation with the military junta that rules Mali to come up with some sort of arrangement?
I'm sure Terry will actually, bless his heart, he'll be involved in that negotiation somewhere, advising his own board about if he's in some way there'll be a communication going on between wherever he's being held and his own company to see what they can afford. But I think if it's pretty clear that what has to happen is money has to be put forward. Now, this Syama mine is only just in development, so it's not even in revenue strongly at the moment. It's going for 140,000 ounces a year and ready to crank up. It was discovered by BHP in the 1980s. So, Australia's had a big role in a lot of these countries around here, in Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana. The surrounding nations all share this beautiful geology, which is quite similar to the Kalgoorlie geology, actually. So there's been massive. It really helps to have Australian friends and to keep good risk profile there. So this is damaging not just to Mali, but to the people investing in surrounding countries as well.
Yeah, people might think twice. But look, taking a step back, looking at the gold price this year, we can put a chart up on the screen, but it's up substantially. When gold and assets like that are doing really well, do you necessarily become more of a target to potential governments looking to make a little bit more money? Or?
You do. That's one background effect. And I just picked this up before I came to the studio, but there's a message here from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the People's Republic of China, where Xi Jinping meets the Malian president, Colonel Assimi Goïta, in September.
Right.
In China. And then in October, they've done the stagecoach robbery on Barrack, and now this one running in with Resolute. So I don't, is there a backstory there? Well, China is increasingly finding its way into African nations, and there was another. Leo Lithium was actually. They were bought out, but they were another African nation and went into Chinese hands. Maybe this is to loosen them up. I don't know, but it's certainly you feel there's no until you're back home and safe. You're not back home and safe, and I think. But Terry's an old hand. He's worked with the greats like Robert Friedland in South Africa on platinum, gold in Sulawesi. I don't think he'll be. I think he'll be negotiating his way out, but it's just really unfortunate. There's nothing nice about it.
Hopefully he gets home safe. Julian, thanks for coming on the show.
Great, my pleasure.